Good morning, friends. Today in my video, I thought I would take you along and let you see what I do and when in order to get ready for the farmer's market. I have sold at the farmer's market for 3 weeks now. I am loving it. It is so much fun to see everybody. I've had return customers. I even had people messaging me last night saying, hey, are you going to be there? Save this for me. I had a phone call yesterday asking about one of my products, and I happened to work with her at school, so she has my phone number, and asked me, to save it for her. So today is Tuesday, and the farmer's market is on Friday. On Tuesday, I get my sourdough starter out of the fridge, and I feed it big. So this is what it looks like right now. I did this about, 10-15 minutes ago. And this evening, I will discard most of this into another container. Actually, it's this one. I will fill 2 of these by Friday. So I start discarding on Tuesday, and then I will discard twice on Wednesday, twice on Thursday, and then again Friday morning. And that will give me about 12 cups of discard, and that's what I need for making my sourdough white bread, my sourdough chocolate chip cookies, and my sourdough English muffins. This week I might do a cinnamon raisin bread. And last week I did banana bread, sold out. And I'm not sure if this week will be banana bread or zucchini bread. And then, I'm going to have sourdough garlic parmesan croutons this week too. So, over the weekend, I did make another batch of my calendula salve. That is the natural color. Isn't that beautiful? And it really does not have a heavy scent. Calendula flowers have a little bit of a citrusy smell. This one I'm not noticing any of that. Now maybe once I break the surface and actually use it, it will. But these are for sale, and you put lids on them and labels. And then also what I want to do today to help prepare is I'm going to go through my freezers and see if I have any bananas. If I have bananas, I will do banana bread. If I do not have any bananas, I will do zucchini bread. And so anytime we buy a bunch of bananas and I don't like them after they start getting their brown spots, I will put them in a Ziploc, put them in the freezer, and then I pull them back out later for banana bread. And so I need to look to see if I have any. And then tonight, before I go to bed, I will discard and feed my starter. And that's pretty much my Tuesday prep. And then, something else will do today is I will make sure, I'll check all my recipes and make sure I have all of the ingredients needed for what I need to make. I did go to the store yesterday and picked up yeast. I like to buy it in a bigger package, but this is what the store had. And then I also bought a thing of salt. So otherwise, I think I have everything, but I will go through and check all of my recipes to make sure. And we'll wait for this to grow and get bubbly. So I will see you back again, possibly whenever I go to discard, or it might be tomorrow when I do my Wednesday prep. Okay, friends, it's Wednesday and time to do some prep for the farmer's market. And so I want to show you what I did first thing this morning. Let me set you down here. So I went out this morning and I weeded the raspberries and did a few other garden chores, and then I harvested onions, and in the very bottom is some garlic. I'll have that at the farmer's market. So those, all I have to do is I'm going to rinse them off and put them in a colander or some basket or something for the farmer's market. In this basket, I harvested the tops of my basil. So not only am I harvesting, but I was pinching their tops, doing some pruning, and what that will do is encourage the basil to get bushier and produce more. And so the wind is really blowing and I've got the window open. I just put it on a paper plate. I set it over on my china hutch and it will just dehydrate there. Here's some I did a couple days ago. It's nice and crispy. I could put this in the dehydrator, but since I just have such small amounts each time, I like to just let it dry on a plate. I also picked a whole bunch of garden snacks, sugar snap peas. We love these. They are getting very close to the end of their garden life, and so I picked off everything that I felt was good. That will go to the farmer's market with me, but not to be sold. It'll go as a snack. And then also I just put these, I'll rinse them off, put them in a bowl, and I leave them on the table. And then when Scott and I walk through here many times a day, we usually just grab one to snack. In the very bottom are some beautiful blackberries and raspberries. And so I'll fish out all the blackberries and raspberries, rinse them off, put them in a bowl, same thing. We just leave them sit out and then we snack on them as we walk through the room. So there's that part. Also yesterday I mentioned that I needed to look to see if I had any more bananas in the freezer, and I found a lot of bananas in the freezer. So in my bowl here I've got enough bananas for, the bowl is sweating. I've got enough bananas for 2 batches, which would make 6 loaves. I also put cream cheese in my banana bread, so 2 blocks of cream cheese because it'll be a double batch. Each batch gets a stick of butter, so I've got my 2 sticks of butter. And this is really just going to hang out here. The bananas will thaw, the cream cheese and the butter will soften, and then tomorrow will be when I mix up and bake the banana bread. So what else do I have to do today? I made myself a list. Okay, I need to discard my sourdough and feed it. Oh, I need to soak some raisins because I am going to do a cinnamon raisin loaf. I need to mix up my cookie dough. So the cookie dough will slow ferment in the refrigerator, and I'll take you through mixing that up. It's a recipe that I got out of, I'll show you the cookbook. It's from Jill Reagan, and she has a YouTube channel called Whispering Willow Farm, and I love her channel. I have learned a lot from her. So first thing, I'm going to put my hair up because I never want to have my hair down when I am preparing food, especially when it's going to other people, because you can see I have a lot of hair, and I just feel like it makes a more sanitary situation if it's up. So let me get this up and then we will work on everything else. Okay, hair's up, I'm ready to go. So first thing I'm going to do, I did just put in a measuring cup with some water in it for soaking the raisins, and we need to discard the sourdough. I want you to look at this sourdough and look at how beautiful. Look at that. It is bubbly, it is active, it has expanded, it's gorgeous. So what I'm going to do, I have my big measuring cup. I'm just going to dump. I make sure that I leave some in the bowl. Let me grab a spatula. Okay. Clean up that edge. All right, and just like that, we have discarded some of our sourdough. Now I'm going to need 1.5 cups of this for the cookie dough. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that out while I've got it here. Can you see what I'm doing? I might not get much more than a cup and a half, but we will. A little bit more. Okay. All right. I'm going to stick a lid on this, and it will go in the refrigerator until later tonight when I discard again. Right now I'm just going to set it aside because I'll have to dig out the lid. This is going to get set aside for cookie dough. This we're going to feed in just a moment. Let's do our raisins real quick. So I'm going to be using golden raisins, mainly because that's what I happen to have on hand. All right, we're just going to let these soak and hang out until we're ready for them. I'll probably let them sit until tomorrow. All right, back to sourdough. I am using bread flour to feed my sourdough, and I'm feeding it big. I'm kind of past the point of having to measure the flour in the water. I really just do it eyeball. So that was 2 cups of flour. And we'll go to the sink and get some water. Please ignore my dirty dishes. All right, I just set it here on the sink. Run some water. Give it a stir. Make sure to scrape down the edges. I already know that was not enough water, but I want to get that stirred in so I can see how much more I might need. Now this particular sourdough I'm going to use for the cookies, the English muffins, the loaves of bread, the cinnamon raisin bread. The only thing I'm selling that's not sourdough is the banana bread. And I probably could make it banana bread, but I really like my recipe that I've already got. A little bit more. You really want this to be like an extra thick waffle batter. Make sure you get it mixed in so you don't have any liquid sitting around the edges or at the bottom. Okay, and there we go. All right, I'm going to get this spatula rinsed off because if you've ever worked with sourdough, you will know it dries like concrete. So I'm going to rinse this off and then we'll work on cookie dough. Okay, time to mix up the cookie dough. I did go ahead and put that discard in the fridge. It is kind of warm in here, and I didn't want it to go ahead and expand further. Wouldn't have hurt anything, it just may not all fit in that bowl. So let me bring you down here. In my mixing bowl, I've got my sourdough starter, my eggs, my butter, brown sugar, and white sugar. And we're going to turn this on. Really need to fix those cabinets. They are so squeaky. Okay. And my mixer out, or my batter, whatever this, beater. That's what this is, beater. All right. We're going to get this mixed up, and then we'll add all of the dry ingredients. Okay. In here, I've got baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Get that mixed in. And I'm going to start adding the flour. And I'm just using an all-purpose flour, unbleached. Let's see, I need altogether about 6 cups. Ooh, I don't know if it's going to fit in this bowl. Okay, let's start with 4, and then we'll add more in. And I'm going to start kind of slow because I'm going to end up with a flour cloud. Okay, let's add another 2 cups. I'm also going to add my chocolate chips. And I'm doing 2 12-ounce bags of milk chocolate chips. Oh my gosh, I totally missed that. Well, those will be for me to snack on. That is a very full bowl. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is clean up my area and then get some baking sheets and parchment out. I'm going to form them into balls, okay, and then those balls will go into the refrigerator, and that's where they will slow ferment. And then also, I won't bake until tomorrow. What else? Oh, I misspoke a while ago. I said I was using a recipe from this cookbook by Jill Reagan, and although this is a wonderful cookbook, this is how I learned to use sourdough. The recipe's not from there. The recipe is actually one I found online from Lisa Bass with Farmhouse on Boone, and it is a fantastic cookie recipe. Last week I put a mix of chocolate chips and peanut butter chips into the cookies, and so good. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna clean up and then we will get the cookie sheets out. Okay, I've got my baking sheets, I've got parchment, I have my cookie scoop. This is a 2-ounce scoop. You can get these at Walmart, Hobby Lobby. Mine happen to come from Pampered Chef. And what I'm gonna do is just scoop out an even, level scoop and put them on my baking sheet. And these can go very close together because they're not going to bake like this. They're just going to hang out in the fridge and slow ferment. And when I'm ready to bake, I will then move them to another baking sheet more spread out. They don't have to be perfectly round. I just scoop and dump. Just like that. I'm going to fill up this cookie sheet. I've got more baking sheets back behind here, more parchment, and then these will go into the refrigerator. All right, there are all the cookie balls. Ended up with 50 total. This one right here was the scrapings from the bottom of the bowl, and I'm pretty sure there are no chocolate chips in that one, so that would be for me. And that is, check my list here, that is all the prep I have to do for today, except for later tonight I will discard my sourdough and beat again. And I will see you back here tomorrow early, because when we prep on Thursday, it is a full day of baking, and so I will see you in the morning. Good morning. It's Thursday and we are in the kitchen baking. I've already been at it for about an hour or so. I kind of forgot to grab the camera, and so let me show you what this kitchen looks like. It is a disaster. and I will show you some beautiful cookies and let you know what I've got going on. So let me turn the camera. Here I've got some, I'm getting ready to mix up this batch of bread. I've got my discard jugs. Let's see, let's go the other side. Cookies waiting to be baked. Okay. Yep, this is real life, guys. This is what my kitchen looks like on a baking day. And look at those cookies. Sourdough chocolate chip. In here I've got a batch of bread on its first rise. Table, another batch of bread, first rise. I've got my garlic and my onions ready for market. This is going to be the garlic parmesan croutons. They're just hanging out until I have time. Here's a batch of cookies that half of them are ugly, so we get to eat the ugly ones. Yeah, that's what's going on. My cup of coffee that's now cold. Okay, so let's go back over to the bread, and I will get you set up so you can see what's going on, because I wanted to show you something over here. All right, so whenever I am mixing the bread, so in here I've already got my water, my butter, my salt, yeast. Yes, it's sourdough, but yes, it has yeast. This is a quick sourdough. And my sourdough starter. I'm going to start with 4 cups of bread flour. The recipe calls for 5 to 6. And so I am starting with 4. The humidity in the air always plays a role in how your bread mixes. So let me get this mixing. Start out on slow. Okay, it's starting to get gooey. Turn it up a little bit. And you can see it's sticking to the sides. I'm going to, okay, let's shut it off. And see, it's pretty fluid and sticky still. So I'm going to go in with another cup of flour. Let's start slow again. Okay. Speed it up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to speed it up a little bit more. What I'm looking for is for it to start pulling the dough away from the sides of the bowl. And that dough is ready. So what I'll do is I will throw a towel over this and let it sit probably about an hour or so. It needs to double in size. And then I'll bring you back later. All right, here's the first batch of dough that I mixed up. The other 2 are let's go look at those. This one is doubled, it's ready. And this one is very close. So what I'm going to do is get these measured out. What I do is, well, let me just show you. Okay, I'm going to put some flour out here on the countertop. And then I'm going to dump this onto the flour. Use my little scraper to, sorry, I'm not good at doing this backwards so that you can see. Okay, get all that out. Okay. Now, making sure I have lots of flour, I'm just going to kind of fold it over onto itself. making sure it's not sticking to the countertop, which it is right there. I gotta check on Daisy. I can hear her just a minute. All right, I'm back. So I'm gonna just kind of pick it up and fold it over onto itself several times. I mean, essentially, I guess I'm doing kind of a stretch and fold, but this is not your typical stretch and fold. I just want to make sure I've got a nice, soft, pillowy wad of dough. It's got some bubbles in it, and that's good because that means my sourdough was active. Okay, now I'm going to divide this. I can't remember how many it makes, but I weigh each one. This is English muffin dough. So what I'll do is I'll cut off a little chunk, turn my scale on. Need to put some flour on my scale. I don't want ounces, I want grams. Here we go, there's grams. I measure each one, and I'm shooting for 80 grams. That's 79 right there. So that's good. I'll just throw it aside, and I'm going to keep measuring until I have a whole bunch of little dough balls that measure 80 grams. And it's time to take the last of the cookies out and put the banana bread in. So I'll be back. Okay, I've moved on to banana bread. I've got the last of the cookies in the oven. Croutons are standing by to be put in the oven. And I want to get the banana bread mixed up so that I can put it in right after the last of these cookies. I wanted to show you my book, so let me bring you down here. This is my cookbook that I'm using for banana bread. This one is a book that my grandmother gave me, and she passed away a year ago next month, and I have been missing her a lot lately. But anyway, moving on. Oops. Here's my banana bread. I've got everything in here. I'm going to switch to a whisk. Bananas, cream cheese, butter, vanilla, powdered sugar, not powdered sugar, baking powder, and baking soda. Bananas, of course, if I haven't already said that. Some flour, sugar, eggs, and after I get this mixed up, I will then put it into these little loaf pans. One batch of banana bread makes 3 little loaves, and then I'm actually doing a double batch. So I'll end up with 6 little loaves of bread. And it is so scrumptious. That cream cheese and butter, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It almost has, the bread almost has a creamy texture, but very bready. And just delicious. One thing that surprises me is this recipe does not call for salt. And it doesn't need it. It's really, really good. All right, I'm gonna get this mixed up into the pans and into the oven. I have got English muffins everywhere, and I'm enjoying one of the ugly cookies. So let me turn the camera and show you. I roll them out and I put them on top of a little bit of white cornmeal, and then they go through a second rise. Oh, and there's more on the table. Okay, there's the croutons hanging out, the stack of cookies. One batch of banana bread has come out of the oven. Doesn't that look good? And I've got the last tray of banana bread in the oven. When it comes out, the croutons will go in. And here very shortly, I will start cooking the English muffins. I start those on the electric griddle, brown them on both sides, and then they go in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. So see you in a minute or so. Okay, it is 10 after 12, and I have the last two trays of English muffins in the oven. And so now, well, if it was any other Thursday, I would keep baking and I would have more bread dough mixed up, but I have an appointment at 3 o'clock, so I don't want to get started on anything else that would make me late for that appointment, or that would have to sit here for too long waiting on me to finish it. I want to show you the croutons. Look at that. They smell so good. These croutons go on salad. I like them in some of like potato soup. But the smell of those croutons really makes me want a big plate of spaghetti. So I'm going to clean everything up, reset, because I will start this again tomorrow. This morning I started at about, I think it was about 7:30. And so tomorrow I will need to start that early, if not earlier. So anyway, I'm gonna get everything cleaned up. Then I will start packaging and labeling what I have finished for today. And oh, let me show you the cookies. Okay, so here's the cookies. I already packaged. There's 6 to a bag. labeled sourdough chocolate chip, $6. These are the uglies. There's one for my mom, one for each of my kids. And then this is the cookie jar. Typically, I fill this all the way, but I do have 12 cookies in there that will be $1 a piece. And there's another container of about 4 more uglies over there for Scott and I, which I was hoping to be able to put into the cookie jar. But it's okay. It'll be fine. What's there is there. So also my camera's about to die. I'm going to charge, I'm going to clean, I'm going to package and label, and I will see you back here tomorrow morning. Okay friends, it is Friday morning. I just toasted a piece of that cinnamon raisin bread. Oh my gosh, so good. Let me show you what else I've got. Okay, so here's more of the cinnamon raisin. I made that last night. Did not know how it would turn out, so I did not film that first time making that. So next time I will show that. This is my bread dough for today. I've got 3 of these, and this is going to make 9 loaves of bread. And so I'll wait for those to rise, and then I will get the bread rolled out. Today my tasks are, get everything labeled, finish baking. This is the last thing I have to bake, is this bread. And then get it all loaded up, and I will be at the farmer's market. Let me show you my flowers. Isn't that a beautiful view from the dirty window in the kitchen? What was I saying? Oh, I'll get everything loaded, and I will be set up and ready at the farmer's market by 3 o'clock. So come see me if you're local, and I will show pictures of the market after I get there. Okay friends, you can see that we are all set up, and it's very hot. I'll turn the camera so you can see what we've got. Our bread tower, quilted table toppers, pepper plants, lots of candles and crochet goodies.
Sorry.
Lots and lots of stuff. And we've got pumpkin bread coming. It's not here yet. Okay, let you see down the walkway. Lots and lots of people set up. All right, friends, I will be back with you shortly. Okay, that's a wrap. It's all packed up, back in the car. 4 days of prep, 2 of those days baking like crazy and getting ready, and then takes us about an hour to set up and less than 20 minutes to take it down. So I hope you liked my video, give you an idea of what happens getting ready for the farmer's market. Like, share, and subscribe, please help me grow my channel, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.